The following is a paid program and does not necessarily reflect the opinions of the staff or management of Visionary Related Entertainment.
Aloha and welcome to Maui Nonprofit Notes. Now in our 10th year of broadcasting, each week we continue to talk story with Maui's nonprofit executive directors and staff to find out how they're working to support those needs within our community. Maui Nonprofit Notes is generously sponsored by Pacific Source. So if you're building or remodeling a home, please stop by Pacific Source's cabinet and appliance showroom located in the Waikapu Bayshard. I'm Susie Tiemann, Executive Director of Lokahi Pacific, and your host for Maui Nonprofit Notes. During this hour, we're going to share some of the experiences of our nonprofit agencies and just how they're changing lives, changing communities, and creating miracles of hope for those with needs. Today, we're going to start off the show talking with Nancy LaJoy, who's the Executive Director of the Pacific Cancer Foundation. And, I don't know whether it's just the age group that I'm running around with, or if there's a reoccurrence or a re-push on cancer, but it's everywhere.
We live on a small island.
No, this is all across the mainland.
That's true.
I mean, here too, but across the mainland, it's like every time I'm afraid to call somebody and say, "Hey, how are you?" Because it's either them or somebody in their family or.
Unfortunately, we've all been touched by it, right?
Yeah.
Them or someone in their family or someone you work with or
right.
Someone in your neighborhood.
And I'm learning so much about the different ones. It's not, it used to be all breast. I mean, that's what most people talked about. But now we're talking about pancreatic, stomach, esophageal. What was the other one I heard the other day? Bone cancer.
Oh, well, breast and prostate are the biggies, right? Men and women, that's the most prevalent. Head and necks are prevalent. Colon cancer, lung cancer.
See, I'm not hearing about those. I'm hearing all these others.
Well, maybe that's a good thing then.
But the sad part is, though, that because some of these have not been talked about very much, it seems like they get to a more advanced stage before they're caught.
Some of them are harder to catch.
Okay.
Like pancreatic.
Right. That resembles a back problem or something, doesn't it?
You might not realize that you have that.
You just have pain.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting, because and maybe that's it. But they are being caught now. Maybe before they just didn't even know. Right.
Well, better diagnostic testing. Maybe people have better insurances. They're going to the doctor more, hopefully, right? Getting checked. And unfortunately, Susie, you and I are getting older. And we hear about it amongst our family and friends.
Yeah.
I know.
But, when somebody talks about, what was it the other day that one friend of mine was talking about? She had two sisters that were ill, just bam, right there. One was like 56 and one was like 58. And it was stomach and pancreatic, and late diagnosis to the point where they just barely all got together for one last reunion before one of them died. I mean, it's like that to me is just so scary.
I know, you hate to hear about those things, The other side of that is, though, more and more people are surviving, and it's always good to focus on the positive, and the treatments are better and options are better.
Yeah.
There's a lot of new technologies that's coming out, new treatments, immunotherapies and things that are really helping people live longer.
Right, yeah. It's hard to, I guess what gets me is that there's so many different forms of it, and you think that you're used to hearing about certain ones and that's kind of it. And then when you just all of a sudden are exposed to all these other ones, it's like, wait.
What happened?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, no.
I keep thinking back to the poor kids that don't get vaccines, and I think, well, why can't we come up with something for cancer?
Hopefully one day.
You think?
I hope.
Yeah?
Hope and pray all the time.
That's why you're so good at where you are. Yeah. You're full of hope.
I am full of hope.
And full of prayer and just you anticipate the best is going to come yet.
It's got to. We
Yeah.
got to focus on the positive.
Look
You
at
know,
that.
We
Look at
got
that.
to
She goes for it.
wake up every day being grateful and
That's true.
happy and enjoy, live in the moment, right?
That's true. That's true. That's the key right there, is to, we never know how much time we have, whether it's cancer or an accident or whatever.
I learned a lot of those lessons from this guy right here.
Yeah, we have a special guest who just came in to join us. Hi, Kimokea.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for having us on your talk show this morning. And I want to give my great aloha to the people of Maui County, including Lanai and Molokai. As we speak about cancer, we're not immune to what island we come from or what country. It's all over the planet, and we're so thankful that on the County of Maui, Pacific Cancer Foundation, and I think you shared a few things with Nancy, and so we're so thankful to be here this morning to kuka or talk with the people of the County of Maui. So thank you so much for having us.
Thank you for being here. It's our pleasure. I understand you just won another award for your volunteerism and your activities. The what was it, Older American Award from the Office of Aging?
Yeah, Old American Award for Office of Aging, and every award I get, it cannot be selfish that it was me. It was really all of us in the County of Maui that really win this award. There's many of us out there, and there were a couple other nominees. Unfortunately, I wasn't there, but the agent office called me this morning, confirmed my flight on June 7th. So all the winners of the counties will be having lunch with the Governor Iggy in Oahu. So I'm really honored to be representing all the aging people on Maui,
Right.
and credit so many of us that does this kind of work. So mahalo for that.
And when I see the list of nominees for that award, I don't want to take too much away from the Cancer Foundation here, but when I see the list of nominees and the things that everybody's doing, I mean, it's tremendous what our seniors are doing. And I think there's an age, it's not like 50, like so many other things are that you qualify. I mean, you got to be well, they say retired, but not, some of them I don't think are, but totally. But it's just awesome, the different things they get involved in, and for years. And
Yeah, the kapunas of the County of Maui is really active. Not only have active programs, but they're active mentors, and they're not going to give up. So I want to great shout to every one of the kapunas that we're not going to give up. We have a mentor, meaning that kupuna to mo'opuna. Kupuna means the elder to the great grandchild, and that our lifestyle is a beautiful one on Maui that we can keep on giving as a kupuna.
wonderful. I can see why you've learned some things from him.
I've learned a lot from him, and I am happy to have him as a kapuna in our organization and involved with, helping me and helping our clients.
Right. Now, how did you get started working together?
I guess,
it's not that long ago, right? That you
Well,
don't
it
remember?
was through Paddle for Life.
Through Paddle,
Kimokeo
okay.
is very involved in Paddle for Life. He's
Uh-huh.
the founding father of Paddle for Life, and this year will be our 11th year for
Wow.
Paddle for Life. Last year we raised $250,000 with 500 paddlers
That's
crossing the channel
incredible.
together, not as a race but as a voyage.
Yeah. So
and-
Nancy gives Kimokeo credit as the founder or the father of that, and that's not so true because we have so many of us that was involved in its original state, and the shout goes to all the canoe clubs on the county of Maui, and on the east side we have Hana Canoe Club. Up here, right in Kahului, Central Kahului, we have Hawaiian, we have Laiula and Nakaivalu, and then on the south we have Wailea Canoe Club and Kihei Canoe Club, and the guys who originally started off with us, and I really want to shout out to them because they do this kind of service for cancer every day, and that's Mana Olana.
Ah.
Mana Olana is better known as the pink
paddlers.
pink paddlers,
Yeah.
and it's really the pink ladies, and this year we're want to pay tribute to the matriarch, which is the female, and so it's really the pink ladies, Mana Olana, that was the founders and founders of the moms, here, and because they have this love to care for people every day,
Right.
and so their service, Mana Olana, is servicing those who have cancer, who is cancer survivors or who have relative of cancer survivors and supporters. And they go out Tuesdays and Thursdays, and I think they start at 8:30, and you can come and be part of their membership. And really, it's a great organization. It was you might say that was a pink mistake. The pink mistake was they were just doing this as Maui, and now it became such a big mistake. They're actually serving the world. Everybody throughout the world contacts them because they're a situation, whether or not they are one who is going to treatment or have been treated, have found that the pink ladies are people that you can go down to and love you and care for you like the special community. So you might say that this pink community is very vibrant, and we want to pay tribute to them, the Mano'olana, and they're really governed and handled and managed by Maui Canoe Club. And so both guys come hand in hand. And so both of these guys should be congratulated for making cancer awareness, cancer love in Ohana, and people throughout the nation locally contacts them and say, hey, I've got a situation and can you help me out? And those ladies, the pink ladies, will always have a pink hand out and say, please come, and we just want to serve aloha.
Do tourists call and say, hey, I want to join you on a Tuesday morning?
They call you, they call from everywhere.
Yeah.
They actually in our Maui newspaper, and they're the only canoe club that, not canoe club, but the canoe, Ohana Kawa'a, the family of the canoe that reach out to the community every day and saying who they are, what they're doing, and where they're going with the pink Ohana, And with that, they have got in a club established on the island of Kauai.
Oh, really?
And just recently, they got a new club that started off on the island of Molokai. They actually sold two pink canoes to a group in Molokai. So we'll have pink ladies on Molokai, pink ladies on Kauai. There's a lot of pink in Oahu under different organizations and different things. And we shout out to Lanikai Sunrise, Susan Dupree, and she's been with us since the beginning. And they're the pink ladies of Oahu, and they have many affiliations. So I think that how we became together was truly about the canoe,
Right.
So, everybody look at our canoe as like a racing canoe. The pink looks at the canoe as a health canoe. And so they've done that, and they've also done a cooperative program with University of Hawaii on obesity and take care of that. So there's a lot going on in the pink community. I encourage them to go down and see the pink ladies called Mano'olana.
We did a great program with the Pinks this winter. We collaborated with them, and we did a special event for children battling cancer or families who have little kids and maybe a parent was battling or a grandparent. And they did an amazing day on the beach. They took people out in canoes. They had arts and crafts. We had food. They had games. And it was really such a beautiful, beautiful morning. It was really nice.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So now, are these people, are they like working people, or are they retired, or all ages, or all
ages,
situations?
Yeah. All ages.
The
all
pink
situations.
ladies?
Yeah.
Yeah, the pink ladies are still employed. Some of them aren't, and some of them are, but most of them are doing some kind of job. So once they're done with the paddling, they have a kind of like a picnic, like a park lot, and discuss about several things, and then on the way. But they're all facets of work schedule.
Mm-hmm.
Some are retired, but we're very thankful for their service that they have
Right.
here.
You can't do anything better than the fresh air and the water and the exercise
It's great.
that goes with paddling.
Great.
Yeah, so I just want to go back on Pacific Cancer Foundation because we are in our 11th year. And as Nancy told you, we had $250,000 last year donated by the paddlers from parts of the mainland, parts of Hawaii, as far as Canada. So we have a cancer surviving team. This will be their third year with us, and they're on the list. And then we also have people from California, but we had people from France and different places that heard about it, and so they were on the island and joined in. So
Really?
we're like an international paddle for life.
Event? Yeah.
And we actually are pretty much booked out as do that. But Pacific Cancer Foundation, all of us who support that, we supported that because, again, we're not immune to any one of our families that do not have cancer.
Right.
And if we do not, you will receive the news and say, oh, so-and-so got cancer. So we think that we want to serve our community by making economics a possibility for Nancy to explain to you the programs that we're going on, and we specifically raise money for these programs. So would you explain them our programs that we have?
I would love to. So our programs have been growing this year, starting 2019, which has been awesome. For about 10 years, maybe 12 now, we've had a patient navigator up at the hospital, and we just hired our second navigator, which is amazing. Christina came to us from San Francisco. She was actually a nurse navigator there, and she's a survivor herself. And she's a beautiful lady. She speaks 5 different languages. She grew up in Guam, so she speaks a lot of South Pacific languages. She also speaks Japanese, a little bit of Chinese, a little bit of Spanish. So she's great.
What an addition to the navigation staff.
Great addition to our navigation staff. So with her and Sherry up there, we have 2 great navigators up there. Sally, is our registered dietitian, nutritionist. She's always pushing the kale, but she's a great lady. Yeah. She works up there. We also have Chablis, who's our care coordinator. She's came to us as an intern from UH Maui. She went through the community health worker program there and started with us as an intern and has been with us 3 years now, I think. And starting in June, we'll have a social worker come work with us. And Doreen is going to work with our survivorship program and also our Keiki program.
Wow.
So, we're excited about that. Our Keiki program is new this year, and she's going to be a great asset to the team up there.
Cool.
So pretty exciting.
Yeah, with our Keiki program, we just started with SBU, Street Bikers United. Last year they jumped in and they say that they want to be part of this program. And so Ron Panzo, owner and management of Nalu's South Shore Grill, jumped in and with the Street Bikers United, which is all the motorcycle groups that we have on Maui, raising money for children. And so last year themselves, they had several events. We have a bowl thing. What is it called now?
Bowls for Keiki.
Bowl for Keiki. So with the bowl, you buy it at $65, keep the bowl, and the money goes to Pacific Cancer Foundation. So last year alone, we raised $40,000.
Oh my gosh.
I mentioned that and I jumped in because we're doing that this weekend again. And this is with Andy Bumatai. So Andy Bumatai is a comedian. You guys all know him.
Right, right.
I'm not like him, so I wish I was like him. Maybe when I grow older, I'm gonna come like Andy Bumatai. And because he's really a fun guy.
Yeah.
And he himself is a cancer
he is?
survivor. And so he last year had a Andy Bumatai show in Big Island, and actually the motorcycle riders and Nancy was with them. And they rode around Big Island and raised some funds for that. Would you give them a thing about what he did on Big Island?
The Big Island trip.
I've got to stop you midstream. We got to do a break.
Okay.
And we'll be right back and keep it coming.
Sounds good.
Aloha from Pacific Source, and thank you for your support over the years. Pacific Source has offered more of what builders and homeowners value most in building materials and cabinet design. We've done this by offering superior customer service and products, as well as by designing kitchens and baths that are intelligent and elegant while staying true to your vision and budget. Visit our showroom in Waikapu in Central Maui, where we display a variety of cabinets as well as top-name appliances like Sub-Zero, Wolf, Viking, KitchenAid, and more. We display countertops, tile and wood flooring, and several brands of windows and doors, including Fleetwood multi-slides and La Cantina folding doors. Come in and talk to our designers about making your dreams become a reality. From concept to completion, we really believe our attention to detail and superior service are what sets us apart. Let us show you what we mean. We are a Pacific Source at 515 East Oahe Way in the Consolidated Base Yard in Waikapu, just off Waiko Road. Call us at 986-0380. That's 986-0380, or look us up online at packsource.com.
And we are back. This is Maui Nonprofit Notes, the weekly radio show where we talk story with our nonprofit executive directors and staff to find out what's happening in their world. And today we've started off the show talking with Nancy LaJoy, who's the executive director of the Pacific Cancer Foundation, and she brought a great friend with her, Kimokea Kapalulehua. Close?
Yeah, so thank you so much. But we're living off about the Children Cancer Fund, and so we have a Children Cancer Fund that's been developed with Street Bikers United, and these bikers raise funds for children. Besides that, you all know them as Toy for Tots. And it's a well-known thing they've done for year after year after year. So they've started something brand new a couple years ago. It's called Tools for School. So now they're doing backpack for children at school.
Oh.
You know, so you guys out there that know any other motorcycles, just get off your car and thank them for what they do for Maui. So they do for Maui Toy for Tots, Tools for School, and their latest contribution to the community is Children Cancer Fund.
Right.
So they're great kind of folks, and you know, they themselves want the public to know they're just not one of those different style of motorcycle people.
They're not
And
just a biker gang.
no, they're not a gang.
Yeah.
And they really do special projects.
They're wonderful.
And they're wonderful people. So get out of your car, your trucks, you're seeing of those guys and say, hey, bro, mahalo.
Right.
Thank you for doing what you do at Street Bikers United.
You got it. You got
Yeah.
it. Okay. Let's
in-
go back to what you were talking about.
We did the bowls for Keiki at the end of last year, and then in February we took our show on the road, so to speak, and we went over to the Big Island, and that's how Andy got involved. So we kicked off that weekend with a comedy show with Andy, and I got to tell you, he's hilarious. I love good comedy, and he was really great. It was a really fun show. And then we rode around the Big Island. There were 200 motorcycles that rode that day, and
What, did they just ship them over there?
some
They shipped
some
their
of them were
bikes?
shipped,
Yeah.
and a lot of people from the Big Island, a lot
Oh,
of
they had
clubs
their
from the
own.
Big Island joined in.
Yeah.
And you know, they do a poker run, and they just have a lot of fun. That we had a big, amazing lunch and music up at the Parker Ranch up there, which was beautiful. And this was a really great weekend.
Cool.
And beginning of May was International Women's Bike Ride Day. So the women here on Maui got together and did a ride for us, and it started at the Harley Davidson dealership here on
Okay.
Dairy Road, and I think we started with about 35 women we left the Harley dealership with, and we rode around Haiku, and we went to Giggle Hill, and we went up to Rice Park, where Nalu's put on an amazing lunch, and I think in the end we had about 50 bikes, which was really great. And then we went over to the VFW in Kihei, where all these amazing women musicians came out and performed, and they had a silent auction. It was a really fun day.
You just
Really
have so
fun
much
day.
fun doing this, don't
I
you?
have a blast doing
I mean,
it. Yeah.
Raising money can be fun.
It can be really fun. You know, there's so many opportunities to have a good time and contribute to a great cause.
And the beautiful thing is the folks of Maui and Hawaii in general are so giving.
Yeah.
I mean, you state the cause, you know, give them an explanation, you give them a why, and off you are.
Yeah.
Off and running.
Exactly. And so Saturday night, Andy Bumatai is going to be here on Maui to once again do a show for us at Nalu's. It starts at 9, and tickets are only $20, so it's great.
Nalos is in which shopping center?
It's in the Azeka Shopping Center, which is right back behind the post office and
Oh, okay.
the hardware store there in Kihei.
Okay.
Nalu's is an amazing place, open air, great food, great atmosphere, and it'll be a really fun show.
Yeah, it should be. Should be.
Yeah.
So now, then after that, what's your next adventure?
Well, I guess our next big adventure coming up is Paddle for Life, which we're already starting to work on.
That's in October.
That's not until October, but we have opened our registration, and most of our teams are starting to get signed up, and we're already going to work.
Are you going to be doing the ball game again this year?
I just met with some of the firemen and policemen the other day, so we're working on that. I don't know, I don't have any details yet, but
Was it last year
in the
when some of the
works.
firemen got called out to go to a fire?
they did, and they lost the trophy. So it's
I shouldn't laugh because that's a serious thing. But
yeah,
it just shows how they have to be on call all the time.
they
But
did.
more than that, they showed that the community came first, and they gave up the trophy for that.
There you go. There you go.
That's pretty cool. The firemen to leave the game and go out and serve the community like they do every day.
Right.
And especially this year because of the larger fires that we've been having, we want to really thank them for all the work they did, and try to stop all fires. We had fires on the west side, fires on the south side, and special other fires that happened in residence. So our thanks cannot be stopped, and continually to thank all those who service
Right.
us, especially the firemen, the policemen, and all its essential people like the ambulance, the lifeguards,
Right.
everyone who serves the community. We just so grateful
Right.
for them.
And the searchers that are out there searching for the missing people.
Exactly.
We got a couple of them again now. It's just it's like a never-ending thing that the firemen and the policemen get called in to do, and
Exactly.
thank goodness they want to do that. That's what,
Yeah, we don't thank them enough. And
It's true.
for Maui people, I know that some of you might have different opinion, but please go out and thank our police and fire department for the work they do, especially ambulance, because they're the guy blow the whistle and try to get you off the highway. But they're just trying to go out and service their community, and you don't know if it's not your family on the other side they're picking up. So
Right.
so please, when they blow the signal on you to get out of the way, just get out of the way, because they're there to serve our community.
right.
They're
Well-
also a big help with Paddle for Life. You know, we have 2 different firemen that have teams
Oh,
that
really?
come with us. We take lifeguards with us. We take a medic with us. So
You have
all
how
about
many
safe.
people are we talking about? It. How many boats? How many people?
what do we have last year?
Last year we had 27 boats and we had
27
500
boats,
paddlers.
500
Wow.
paddlers.
You've got to have people like that with you.
So yeah,
Anything
and
can happen.
we couldn't do it without those guys, and they all volunteer their time, and they come and take care of us and be part of our event, and they're great. We love them.
Yeah, we do. We do.
Well, I think one of the things that Pacific Cancer Foundation has, that's a structure, and so I wanna shout out to the board of directors, because these are the guys who really the boss for Nancy and us, and they support us 100%, and they know that what's good, and so we really appreciate them in their meetings that they talk about some of the problems we have and some of the things that we should do, and they've made sure to support what we're doing with Pacific Cancer Foundation. So some of the things we do is not so easy. Some of the things we do is risky. So they have to take a good decision to
Weigh
make
that,
to be involved with some of these events. So
Right.
so to the board of directors of the Pacific Cancer Foundation, we wanted to thank them about that. And she can tell you who they are, because they should know, the public should know who our board of directors are.
Well, we
Yes.
do have an amazing board of directors. Thank you,
Well,
Kimo
they
Keo.
must be good. They hired you.
Our president is Dorian Romanchek, and she is a PA over at Kaiser, and she's amazing. Barry Hele is our vice president, and he's been managing Wailea Blue for 25 or 30 years over there. He's a great guy. Alicia Sparkman is a realtor up in Makawao, and she is our board secretary. And Emmy George is our treasurer, and she's with Morgan Stanley. So
Wow.
Big-
Oh, you've
great-
got all the right people in the right
great,
spots.
Great team. And then, we have a large board that all supports on different committees
Right.
and all that. So it's
Wow.
great.
Boy, that's the fastest way to spend a half an hour, you guys. We're done. I'm sorry. I gotta pull the plug on you here.
We're going to have to come back.
I think so. I think so. Don't wait for October. When you get that ball game put together, give me a holler.
Okay.
And-
Well, she talked about the ball game, and you were asking her what's coming up. So we just want to let you guys know that we have a work in progress right now, that we're going to do a toddler marathon. And so the toddler marathon will be credited again to Street Bikers United. Ron Ponzo and his group came up with this idea. And we're going to do a toddler marathon, and we're probably going to do it at one of the shopping centers where the toddlers come out and race around the parking lot and raise funds for the children cancer. Because one of our survivors that is in treatment right now, or done with treatment, is a little kid named Sully. And Sully is 2 years old.
Wow.
And Sully and his family was one of the crews to Paddle for Life last year, and had their own crew. So imagine they're coming out and have a little experience, but
Right.
took their own family and their crew to Lanai. And so, what's Frank's last name again?
Forbes.
Frank Forbes, and his wife's name is
Hilda.
Hilda, and they have a daughter named Indy. And Indy was one of our younger paddlers, and she was 6 years old then.
Yep.
Oh, my
So we
goodness.
have about 6 children that's under 8 years old paddle from Maui to Lanai, and Indy wanted to paddle for her brother, So we appreciate the Forbes Ohana and for what they're doing with us, and continue to do that in 2019. Voyage to Lanai and for Paddle for Life.
That's wonderful. Boy, thank you. Kimo Keo, thank you for all you do. It's just fabulous.
Thank you,
Nancy.
Susie, for having us here today. It's great.
It's just, I'm in awe. I go back, I'm exhausted just from hearing what you're doing.
Yeah, I think again, it's not Kimokeo. I think it's the people of Maui that's with
There you go.
Kimokeo, and so again, I put my shout out to all of the Maui people, Lanai and Molokai and Ko'olavi and Molokini, that for helping us to do what we do for Maui, and they just recently had a charity walk, and
Right.
look at what they did.
I
you
know, that's incredible.
So Maui, keep on giving, because you serve a lot of people here in our county, and they love you for that. Mahalo.
Mahalo. Thank you, Kim Kale.
Mahalo.
Thank you, Nancy.
Have a great day.
Will do. Thank you. Thank you very much. And now we shift gears, and we're going to talk with Danielle Bergen, who is the Maui Community Coordinator for Mental Health America of Hawaii, the Maui branch.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. I'm
Whoa,
good.
didn't that? Aren't you exhausted?
Oh,
Just-
no, well, my office is right next to Nancy's. I know how busy she is all the time. Exactly. We run into each other constantly. So
Gotcha.
We're both in and out of our offices, and she's got a lot of great stuff going on, and it's amazing what they do for the community.
You know, I keep thinking back to when I first met Nancy and some of the things they were doing, and it was a piece of something here, a piece of something there. But now, and during that one compact time of year, like in the fall, where they
Yeah.
had 2 or 3 or 4 events, one right after another. But now it's all year long.
Yes.
It's just an incredible thing, and so many different people are involved in it. That's what gets me is well, and I guess they would be, because cancer has no
Yeah.
favorites.
Oh, no, I get it. Yeah, both my mother and sister died from it, so
Ooh.
it's in our family.
Yeah. Ugh. That part. Well, enough said.
Yeah.
Let's.
We're excited to be here today from Mental Health America of Hawaii.
What have you
being-
got coming up?
Well, May is Mental Health Month
Okay.
nationally, so we kicked it off with a proclamation by the mayor in his office. I called around and got some of the other groups that are involved with us in Maui County in mental health, and we celebrated by beginning to talk about it. And of course, with mental health and mental health conditions, we look to really let people know that good mental health is just an important aspect of your whole entire health, right? Feeling good about yourself, having a good frame of mind, getting enough sleep, doing the things you love to do, that's mental wellness. And so many people kind of take that for granted, and we really want to emphasize on the fact that mental wellness is such a key to your life for happiness, keeping you balanced completely all around, mentally, spiritually, physically, and emotionally. It's such an important thing to remember.
How do you recognize when you've gone off the rail?
Well,
so
a
to
lot of
speak?
times if you, I've been around for a little while, so, and when I start spinning my wheels, that's what I call it with me. When I don't feel that complete balance, maybe it's something that I kind of have a routine in the morning and I'm forgetting. One of the things that Nancy said that I loved is just about gratitude. Waking up every day and just being grateful to be alive. Being grateful for the job you have. Being grateful being able to give back to people. Being grateful for your family, for your health, right? For having a roof over your head, as my friend Brian always says, a roof over your head and food in your belly, right? If you got those
great
two
start.
things, it's a great start to the day.
Yeah.
So really accenting on mental wellness is such a great thing. And of course, we really are trying to get that message out there to keep breaking the stigma of mental health and mental illness, to ask for help, asking and getting people and encouraging people to ask for help when they're not feeling well. I mean, if you're sick for a while physically, and it's that time of year and you haven't gotten your flu shot and you're feeling kind of junky for 2, 3, 4 days in a row, it's not going away, you go to the doctor. You go to the doctor to get help. But when you got something going on between your ears and you're not quite sure what it is, or maybe you think, something's just bothering me, or I feel really anxious, or whatever the symptoms are, people have to get over the fact that it's okay to ask for your help. You shouldn't be expected to figure that out on your own. And it's an actual sign of strength to get help than it is for a sign of weakness.
To question what's going on.
Yeah, exactly. 80%, the great news is 80% of the people that go to get help, right, with a mental health condition are able to receive the help they need to live their lives.
80%.
Yeah, that's a high rate. Really, Susie, that's what, you learn to balance your life again. I had a volunteer come into my office the other day, a gentleman who I've known for years. and said, I want to volunteer now, Danielle. This is what's going on with me, and explained himself. And now he's gotten the help he needs, and he feels much more balanced about his life, and he wants to give back, and he wants to let people know that all-important message. Asking for help is a sign of strength, not weakness.
Right. Oh, wow. We got to take another short break.
Sure.
And we'll be right
Let's go
back,
right
and
ahead.
we'll hit it hard.
Okay.
Aloha from Pacific Source, and thank you for your support over the years. Pacific Source has offered more of what builders and homeowners value most in building materials and cabinet design. We've done this by offering superior customer service and products, as well as by designing kitchens and baths that are intelligent and elegant while staying true to your vision and budget. Visit our showroom in Waikapu in Central Maui, where we display a variety of cabinets as well as top-name appliances like Sub-Zero, Wolf, Viking, KitchenAid, and more. We display countertops, tile and wood flooring, and several brands of windows and doors, including Fleetwood multi-slides and La Cantina folding doors. Come in and talk to our designers about making your dreams become a reality. From concept to completion, we really believe our attention to detail and superior service are what sets us apart. Let us show you what we mean. We are a Pacific Source at 515 East Oahe Way in the Consolidated Base Yard in Waikapu, just off Waiko Road. Call us at 986-0380. That's 986-0380, or look us up online at packsource.com.
And we are back. This is Maui Nonprofit Notes, the weekly radio show where we talk story with our nonprofit executive directors to find out what's going on in their world. And this morning, it's now this afternoon. This has been a very confusing day for me. So, if I have the days and nights mixed up, don't
Take a deep breath and let it out, Susie.
Exactly. Started out with a John at 4:30 in the morning to do something that ended up being the wrong thing to do. But what can I say?
Yeah.
I always say, if you get up too early, it's not right. You shouldn't be doing it.
I hate to tell you, that's when I get up every day.
4:30? Is it really?
It is, yeah.
I was amazed at how light it was at 5:30.
It was very light.
It was a beautiful morning.
Gorgeous.
And the one thing that stood out, the lights, the lights are still on, but they're not the lights of night.
Right.
They kind of blend in with the dawn coming up, and so forth. And it creates a whole different scenario out there.
See, for me, part of my mental wellness, that's my time of day. That's when I really can connect spiritually with myself and with the world, and with my higher power, because it's just so calm, so beautiful. You hear the birds waking up, starting to sing. There's that just kind of lull in the air, which is just that transition from evening to day.
Yeah.
Very powerful.
That's not enough to convince me to start living that way.
That's okay. You don't have to get up when I get up. My coworkers go, God, Danielle, how can you get up that early? So I come into work, when I used to work in other jobs with a lot of people around, and I'd be like, ready to go. And they're like, oh, my God, get her away from me. But I'm grateful to be alive. You can tell. You've known me for a while.
I've known you more than a while, yes. Now, one of the things that we talk about is and are you still doing this? Are you working with the youth?
Oh, yes.
Suicide prevention people and
Yeah,
stuff?
I have some great news with that, and especially that we had this during, we had a state convention this year, which was wonderful. We were able to bring over 40 youth from Molokai, Lanai, and Maui with money that we had through a grant from the Prevent Suicide Maui County Task Force, which I'm also the co-chair of. And we used that to bring them over for the State Suicide Prevention Conference, also attended by about another 350 adults over in Honolulu for 3 days. So the offshoot of that was I wanted to do something over here. So it was so successful, what we decided to do was to really start to raise awareness more within our youth. And I've done that in this past grant year, and thanks to Maui County that have provided us money to keep me in my position here on Maui. But we have successfully gone out and trained in the school system since last July 1st, over 1,400 either teachers, students, or individuals within the community about suicide and bullying prevention. It's our core program for the schools. So upon that success and meeting so many of the youth, there's always they want more information. And so we recruited about 5 ambassadors from each school, high school that we could. And we had a participation from also from Hana and Molokai again. We flew them in for the day, and we did a suicide prevention day called Save Your Life, a suicide prevention workshop. And I'll tell you what, the youth that were there were just fabulous. They're all good ambassadors that will bring this information back to the schools. We did our youth suicide and bullying prevention training for a group of them, and the other half of the group did connect training where they learn about suicide prevention. Both of the trainings raised awareness for risk factors and warning signs, and how to connect and how to ask that important question of your friend or your fellow student, are you thinking of taking your life? Are you thinking of killing yourself? Because these are the important questions we have to ask these days, right? Our youth is under such great pressure, more than we did when we grew up because of the fast onset of social media and everything else that goes in their lives. And the numbers have gotten higher, but we're doing the very best we can to lower them. And I got to tell you, the raising of awareness has just been such a powerful, beautiful aspect of the things that we've been doing, not just through Mental Health America Hawaii, but also through our work also with the Prevent Suicide Maui County Task Force.
Wow. Yeah, I know the numbers were staggering last time we talked about the exact numbers that are out there.
Mm-hmm.
And not only the ones who completed it, but the people who tried to commit suicide.
And more people do attempt, and it's usually more females than males will attempt. It's usually about, over here, our numbers are about 3 times as much. But the fact is, if we can get more people talking about it, if we can get more people out there recognizing signs and symptoms within your friends, right, we're going to start saving lives. And I think we're beginning to make a difference.
I'm stuck on that statistic you just gave. Women, females versus male.
Yeah.
3 to 1.
3 to 1 on attempts. Yeah. And those are attempt survivors.
Yes.
These would be attempt survivors. And the biggest difference with that would be, while it's 3 times as many more women who are attempt survivors, right? It's because of the methods that they might try. And for safe messaging, I don't want to talk about any kind of methodology, because I don't think that's a good idea. I'd rather talk about resources and recognizing some warning signs in your friends. Everybody has bad days. Everybody has tough times going around. However, if you start to see changes in behavior from friends and family, if they're a kind of person that normally connects and they stop connecting so much, or like with the youth in schools, right? Your friends text you all the time and you're always doing things, and they kind of stop separating. Maybe they isolate. Maybe they've had some hard times at home. Maybe that they've really trying to get into a good college and they've failing a course and they're under a lot of pressure, or their parents are getting divorced. There's a lot of things that can happen in a youth life, and when they start to happen close to each other, it starts with that change in behavior. And suicidal ideation is pretty common in middle school, for high school, or for middle school and high school over in Maui. It's 1 out of 6 in high school have thought about it, and 1 out of 4 in middle school. These are statistics taken from the Youth Risk Behavioral Surveys that they've done, the last one in 2017. And so by talking about it, that ideation, right, they'll start to admit to these things, and then as it goes down the scale, the numbers get much, much lower of people who would actually attempt. Okay, but it is because of the methods that there's more women survivors. But as much as it is in this dire statistics, I think, again, as though you were talking with Nancy, we have to focus on the hope, and the hope of what we're doing and getting more and more people involved in the solution, right, and talking about it. I'm putting together a suicide prevention luncheon coming up in September during Suicide Prevention Week. We're going to have one here in Maui County. You'll be hearing more about it down the road.
Okay, good.
I'm very excited about that. I'm out looking for some sponsors of it now. We'll be having it at the Kahili Golf Course on September 12th. You'll probably get an invitation in the mail. I'm kind of person who will do it online, and I'll also do it in the mail. So I've been doing those things for a long time, going back to the Maui Chamber of Commerce, right? So I learned well from Lynn Woods on how to do those things. But we want to keep talking about it. We want to keep that. We want to keep everything moving in a positive direction, because the youth of Maui County, I mean, that's our biggest resource for the future. And I tell them that when I teach the classes with them. And I have such a great group of volunteers that we have trained in the youth suicide and bullying prevention as instructors, and they will come out and they'll work with me in the schools. I have 8 to 10 people that are dedicated in doing it, that have other jobs and do other things, but they're dedicated to the youth.
Well, I think didn't the whole thing kind of swung, the pendulum swung, when the whole point was talk about it. Mm-hmm. Don't hide it.
Right.
Talk about it.
Right. It's not something we can push under the rug anymore. We have to be verbal. We have to talk. We have to communicate. Unless we communicate with each other, we don't know what's going on.
Right.
Right.
And I think too, the other thing that hit me really hard when somebody said, and I can't remember, it may have been you, that you don't be afraid to ask someone if they are thinking about.
Right.
And it's like, what?
It's
You know?
proven, and this is something comforting to take. It's proven statistically that actually will not raise any risk of that person taking their life. If anything, it's going to help them recognize that, oh my God, somebody sees this, somebody knows, maybe I can talk to them. And then you get help, right? And the help is out there. I guess I have a bag for you, and it's got the from our logo from the Suicide Task Force, but it's a part that I gave to all the kids. And the number I have on it is 1-800-273-TALK, and that's the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. And if everyone out there could write that down, 1-800-273-TALK, and I don't have my phone in front of me or I'd tell you the numbers and the acronym for it. But it is the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, 24/7. If you're not sure of what to ask somebody, please just call this number. Or we also have a Kokua Life app, which is by Mental Health America of Hawaii. We came out with it last year at this time. And it's a free download on Android or iPhone. Kokua Life, Kokua Life, has a little lifesaver on it. It's got information on questions to ask and things to do if you think that your friend is at risk of taking their life, but it also has so much more. It has resources not just from Maui, but from all over the state, on numbers you can call, not just about mental health, but for so many other things. We also have a link to our national website where you can maybe go in and take a test if you feel like maybe you have some sort of mental health condition and you just want to get some feedback. You can get a free test done with that, and we do over 3,000 of them a day.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's national, and it's amazing.
Oh, this is one of those things where you say in many cases, put yourself in their shoes, walk a mile in their shoes kind of deal. You can't. Really? I mean, can I? I mean,
well, if you've had a place in your life where you've had some challenges, then maybe you can. But if not, it is a tough thing to do. But knowing it, at least knowing what to see and recognizing, and being willing to have a conversation with someone, especially in our society. You and I grew up in different times, and I can remember after dinner with my parents and grandparents sitting out on the porch and talking. That's what we would do, is we would talk. And talking is one of the things that, is such a hard thing, especially for the youth. They'd rather get on the phone and text, right?
Right.
But
yeah, they don't even talk on the phone. They
but
text.
getting that communication going, right,
Yeah.
is such key. And we do try to make it easier for them, too, because one of our lifelines for the resources for our youth is they can actually either text 911. You can in Maui County. You can text 911 if you need to. Or if you text Aloha 741-741, that'll get you to a suicide prevention lifeline. And they will text you back and ask you what's the matter.
One more time, what?
Text Aloha 741-741.
Okay. And they'll get right back to you.
They will get back to you within probably 30 to 45 seconds.
Wow.
And if you don't actually respond and they keep trying to get back to you, they have GPS trackers, so they might send somebody out to where your phone is to check to see if you're okay. So
wow.
It's very, very powerful, and it's especially much more accommodating for youth because they do feel more comfortable texting rather than talking. And they can text so fast, they can get the message over pretty quickly.
Right. Wow.
Yeah.
That's coming to the times.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, that's what we have to do. We have to get the resources to where we can use them the best and make it as easy as we can to raise this awareness. And I really, I can tell you we do a survey test, pre-test, and post-test in all our trainings. And we see an increase in knowledge from the youth from 35 to 40% in regards to bullying prevention and suicide prevention. So we know that we're reaching people. We know that we're doing a good job. And a big initiative of mine this year was to get into the parts of Maui County that really need the help the most, and that's our rural areas. So I'm happy to say that I spent a few days down in Hana and trained all the classes from grades 7 through 12. And I was over in Molokai in February, and we trained the Molokai Middle School 7th and 8th graders, and we did 2 community trainings in the evening for just anyone who wanted to show up. And then we were over in Lanai earlier this month, and we trained over there. There's 7th and 8th grade as well.
What kind of comments do you hear when you finish a class or with a group? I mean, are there any comments that stand out that lets you know that people recognize what you're saying and that there is something to it? And
you see a lot of gratitude from the kids. You say, thank you for coming. I feel much better because now I know how to talk to my friend and maybe save someone's life. Thank you for telling us about what the risk factors and warning signs. I didn't know what they were. Thank you for giving us the numbers. Thank you for taking the time to come down and see us in Hana. I got a few of those, right? And same with Molokai.
Right.
Right, because they're so grateful when we can get over there, because it's rural areas are at a higher risk just because there's just less and less resources.
And we spent a lot of time talking about the kids and so forth, but the kids can help the parents as well.
Sure.
I mean, because what you're teaching them, these are signs that could show up at mom and dad when you're the few times you do sit down together. Or you hear the interaction with your folks and other people, and you kind of...
Or with family, you see it in your cousins, your aunts, your uncles, right? You see the behavior, right? You see the risk factors. You see those warning signs that are happening. So I think things are starting to get better, but it's just something we have to continually work at. That's why I'm excited about our luncheon coming up in September. I'm always excited about May being Mental Health Month because I get to talk as much about mental wellness as everything else because I'm a firm believer in it, right? Having a good attitude and just getting up and, I could be that obnoxious woman that gets on the elevator and says hello when everyone else is quiet.
I got you. Danielle, thank you so much for being here. It's always great having you here, and even though the subject's the same, I always learn something new.
Good.
Or a different phase.
Thank you for having me. We really appreciate your help and support.
Thank you. Maui Nonprofit Notes is sponsored as a community service by Pacific Source, the builder's choice. Please give them a call at 986-0380 or stop by their showroom in the Waikapu Bayshard on East Oahe Way to see how they can help you with your building project. Pacific Source has been our sponsor from day one, and we want to thank them for their ongoing support. And to you, our listeners, we thank you for the response our agencies get from you regarding the activities talked about on this program. The Maui Nonprofit Directors Association's mission is to provide personal and professional support to nonprofit executive directors, their organizations, and the community of Maui. Please visit our website at mauinonprofit.org for a list of member agencies. Today we visited with Nancy LaJoy and Kimo Kea from the Pacific Cancer Foundation in the first half of the show, and in the second half of the show we spoke with Danielle Bergen, who's the Maui Community Coordinator for Mental Health America of Hawaii Maui Branch. Oh boy, mahalo for tuning in. And don't forget to join us again next week right here, same time, same place, when we'll feature 2 more member agencies of the Maui Nonprofit Directors Association. Are you drowning me out? Oh, that's my hearing must have just come on. Until then, I'm Susie Tiemann, Executive Director of Lokahi Pacific, and your host for Maui Nonprofit Notes. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Have a great week. Aloha.